Jai Hind everyone, welcome again to the Patriotic IAS. Let's start our IAS PCSwala daily current affairs. Today it is 28th of the April and we will cover all the relevant news from the today's newspaper. So we have 7 news article and we will analyze one by one as per their relevance and associated syllabus and the topic. So the first topic, first news, that is the a practice of samadhi, that is the art of co-living. It is into the Tiva tribe of the Assam. So this is very special type of the tradition that so that how the youth are taught to co-live and learn the practice of support each other and live a life where you cooperate with each other so that the happiness can come into the society. So it will be come under the society section as well as the GS paper 4 section of the ethics. So this is very important. You can give it as the example into the ethics paper, how there is the selfless way of the living by the Tiva people. They show the sympathy, empathy, cooperation with our social being, our human being. So this is very good example. And society, the tribal way of the living, where the Tiva tribe, that's despite they are considered as the tribal because they don't have the connection with the mainstream people, and they are as per the mainstream people, they are lacking behind, they are behind us, but in the reality they are much better and much forward from the mainstream people. Then we will see that the rock with the evidence of the earth magnetic field. Here it has discovered that what has been the life of the magnetic field of the earth, that is continuously changing due to the change in its the core, the flow, the conduction that takes place into the outer flow, the iron particle that is there into the outer core, and they continuously do the there is the conduction, and that's why there is the generation of the magnetic field. So again, it will be for the mains perspective as well as prelims for the basics, what is the earth magnetic field. So this shows that how the earth magnetic field continuously changing and its direction is changing, and what is its existence that is coming from the rocks. Then we will study that the flying in the fashion, it is the way the birds fly when they have to go for the longer distance. What are the use, what is the science behind that? So it will be part of the basic science. Prelims is specific. Then we will study the Hangover class advanced submarine that is being built by the China for the Pakistan. So we will see that how this can going to help this Chinese and Pakistan strategy into the Indo-Pacific region. Again, it will be for the mains perspective. Then we will study that will the new insurance rules help senior citizens. So we will see that how the what are the provision of the new insurance rule and how it is going to help different section of the society, particularly the senior citizen, as the age bracket has been now increased from the above 65 and 65. Okay. Then we will see that when the candidate elected unopposed, it is into the context of the Surat Lok Sabha election. In this constituency, there is no opposition candidate. The Congress candidate has been disqualified due to the sum of the error in his nomination paper. So here we will see that on the 22nd of the April, Election Commission of India declared the BJP candidate as the winner. Okay. The last topic that we will study, that how do extreme climate event impact the Asia. It will be into the context of the recent report by the World Meteorological Department organization. Okay, so we will see that what has been the impact, what has been the preparedness with respect to the forecasting, early warning system, all this thing that has been brought with respect and context of the Asia. Okay, so we will also see the Indian context as well. So let's start from the front page. The first news is the over 140 hectare of the forest land gutted into the Uttarakhand into the wildfire. So we have seen that now the temperature is increasing, and as the number of the forest fire is increasing, we have seen that near about the 72 hours of the wildfire that has resulted into the burning of the 142 hectares of the land, and you will see that the frequency is continuously increasing 23 phrase forest fire that was reported on the Saturday. One day back it was 31, and 54 number of the forest fire. You can imagine what is the destruction level of the forest. So mostly this is the human factor that is causing the high increased number of the forest fire. So we will see that how the different type of the actions being taken by the disaster management team and the forest department team to prevent such forest fires. Okay. The next news is with respect to the center releases disaster relief fund for the Karnataka. So we know that as per the rule of Disaster Management Act of 2005, whenever there is the insufficiency into the state disaster response fund, the union will help the state with help of the national disaster response fund. So here we will see that the state government such as in the Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and the Kerala, they were asking for the more and more such fund, but the center was not ready to release such fund. We have seen that the cyclone Michang and also the flood, drought situation in these states, and they were demanding the fund from the union, and union was not fulfilling their demand. We saw that these states approached to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court directed the union government, please do, and please don't create a situation where the threat, it's create the threat to the federal system of the our democratic, our state system. Okay, so here we will see that this release has been, it is a good sign of the cooperative federalism. You can write example of that. Okay. Again, this is just a political news, not relevant for that much. Next news that we will see into this picture, this is a beautiful picture. This is the picture of the Tiva tribe. They are preparing for the Samadhi. Samadhi is a place where they live and they learn. The young Tivas, they stay there for long period of time, many times 2 years, 3 years, and they learn the skills, different type of the skill that they have to face into their life. So here they will learn what to look for in a life partner. Okay. And also they try to help the develop a sense of community among them. And member, they help the people in the need and do not take any compensation. So this is the learning process that so that how in a society you can live with the cooperation. And one more thing you should know that in this type of the Samadhi, women are strictly prohibited inside the Samadhi ecosystem in the many of the hill tivas. Okay, so here you will see that this is the Samadhi. They try to construct it into a collective way. Here they are designing this. The Samadhi decorate the pillar, and here they are dancing. Tiva women, they are in front of the Samadhi. They also try to exchange, gift each other the flute. Okay, so here it is the scene. It is a ritual to share the flutes. This is a type of ritual, and they also dance. They do the dance performance in front of this Samadhi. So this is from the Karbi Anglong district of the Assam, and this is the autonomous district, and here the Tiva tribe that dominates. Next important news that we will see is the rocks with the evidence of the Earth magnetic field discovered. So here we know that into the Earth acts as the magnetic bar. So this is the bar, this act like a bar, and from the south pole to the north pole, this is the direction of the magnetic field. Why there is the magnetic field? It is due to the iron, the liquid iron in the outer core. So here you will see that this is the core of the Earth, and in the outer part of the core there is the liquid iron that flow, that took the conduction, and you know that whenever the electrons flow in from one place to other place, there is the creation of the electric field, and that ultimately result into the magnetic field. Okay, so this is the region, and this magnetic field prevent the Earth from the different type of the harmful ions and the charges that coming from the different solar system, different external bodies, such as from the earth, such as from the sun and other celestial bodies. Okay, so here you will see that this is the whole system. So we have seen that there has been the evidences of this type of the rock system that is going back to the 3.7 billion years back here. It is the 3.7 billion back, and there has been the experiment that is continuously going that this can be extended for the 200 million years. But you don't have to go into the search details, just you should know that yes, there is the field, and this magnetic field create the magnetic field that prevent us from the so many lives or so many type of the charges and the ions that is coming from the solar system and suns and other celestial bodies. So this is all about from this news article. Okay. Next important news that we are going to take is a curious type of the question, that is the how do the bird fly in a coordinated and seemingly effortless fashion. So you will see that generally when the birds have to take a distance of a large distance, so they go into the V-shaped. So here the first word will be there, and after that they are into the V-shaped. Okay. So why this is the main reason? This is mainly to provide, save the energy and make this whole the system more efficient. And this, the front board that provide the upwash, and that's why the boards, they are situated down the line. They have to make lesser effort to cover the distance. So this system helps the birds to fly a longer distance. Next important news that we are going to take is this Hangar class of advanced submarine that is being built by the China, and it is to hand over to the Pakistan. We have seen that the 8 submarine of Hangar class has been built up, and it is 4 for the China and 4 for the Pakistan. It is mainly to increase the presence of the naval presence of the China and Pakistan into the Indian Ocean region. We have seen that there has been the intensification of the Indo-Pacific, a quad group that is include the India, US, Japan and Australia. Here to counter this grouping, the Pakistan and China, they have initiated such type of thing. This is the diesel engine submarine. This is not the nuclear submarine, so you should be very clear. And this had the stealth technology. So please remember all these basic things, that what are the property. This is the submarine that is helpful into the this attacks. The attack is possible, the missile attack is possible from the under the water, and it also it gives the advantageous position into the warfare. Okay, so it has the stealth capabilities, and it has the advanced sensor and the weapon system, and it is mainly using air independence proportional system, and it is for the extended underwater operation. So as we know that as much as the submarine has capability to stay under the water, it can have the more advantageous position into the naval warfare. So this is all about from this news article. Important news that we are going to take is from the FAQs, and the first news that we are going to take is the will new insurance rule help senior citizens? So we have seen that recently the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India has changed the regulatory policy and rule, and it has brought the wider perspective, wider people, wider product. Okay, wider people means the age limit has been increased. It was near about 65 years. It was not restriction, but yes, it was up to 65 years. Now there is the restriction of 65 years has been removed. Now it has asked the insurance companies, you please try to provide the policy and insurance for those who are above the 65 years. So it has increased. Wider product means now they have included the Ayush, the treatment under Ayush par with the allopathic medication, normal medication. Okay, so this Ayush is the traditional medication. Before entering into the further discussion, for the prelims perspective, you should know about the basic about the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. So it was established in 1999, and the act was Insurance Regulation and Development Authority Act 1999. One thing you should remember is that its headquarters is into the Hyderabad and not into the Delhi. Generally we confuse, and these two things is important for the prelims. Where it works to promote the policyholder interest, and it's try to ensure the interest of the people with respect to their insurance and the policies. They are not exploited. The people, the common man, is being prevented from the any exploitation from the those who are insurance companies, because there is the very difficulty into the getting the claims into the insurance. You will, whenever you will go for such thing, you will find that there is lot of paperwork. They ask for your coverage of the insurance, or if you want to claim the insurance. Here you will see that the structure of the IRDAI, there is a 10-member body. One is the chairperson, 5 are the full member, and 4 part-time member. So please remember this thing: chairperson and 5 full-time and 4 are the part-time. And these all members are appointed by the government of India. So this is common. Now you will see that this widen policy scheme and regulation has brought all the insurance, life insurance, general insurance, and the health insurance. Okay, so please remember that this policy modification is for the life insurance, health insurance, and general insurance. So it has brought all this. That's why we are talking that these are the widen the product and the product class as well. Okay, what do new regulation address? The first thing is that it has increased the age limit. Beside that, you will see that there has been the decrease in the specific waiting period. What is this waiting period? Means if I go and today I will take my insurance for the 8 years for my health insurance. So for some disease they give the specific waiting period. Means if it is previously it was 4 years, now it has been reduced to 3 years. Means 1 year has been reduced. So that it means that after 3 years I will start availing my the coverage. Means if I will fall ill after 3 years, then they will give me back the money. It was 4 years before, means 4 years I have to pay from my pocket, and after that they will start paying for the my ailment. Now it has reduced to the 3 years, means my waiting period has reduced. It means that I could avail this coverage by the early time. So it will save my money for the 1 year. Think that if it is reduced to the 2 years, means after 2 years I will get the money for whatever the ailment I am facing and the cure that I am going through. Means it is in the favor of the common man's insurer. Okay. Now it is covering the Ayush. Ayush means A means Ayurveda. These are the traditional medication. Y means yoga. N means naturotherapy. Here Ayush. Okay. U means Unani. N has been silent. Unani, S, Siddha, and H means homeopathy. To make it more meaningful, we have excluded N from this abbreviation. So here N is not there. So you should remember naturopathy is also part of the Ayush system. These are the traditional medication system. Okay. Now they have to provide this Ayush treatment par with the other treatment options such as the allopathy and other common thing that we generally use. Okay. What changes are the relevant to the senior citizen? Now the main aim of Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India is to achieve insurance for all by 2047. Okay. Now we have seen that there had a lot of changes that was previously the policy regulation was brought up into the 2016, and the name of that policy was the Health Insurance Regulation Policy 2016. And here the age limit was at least 65 years age. So beyond that, there was the many of the companies who provided the insurance beyond 75 years, but mostly as it was talking about the at least 65 years, so mostly they created artificial ceiling of the 65 years. So you can know now the life expectancy of the people are increasing, and that's why they need more and more cure. And we know that as the age increases, the number of diseases that impact a person also increases, and that's why this policy is very important. Beside that, one thing that is common, that is main cause of concern, is the premium. Premium is monthly money you have to pay to avail the insurance coverage. Means if I am going to avail the, if I take the insurance of my some of the disease, and they say that the premium will be the 200 rupees. It means that I have to pay 200 rupees on monthly basis, and whenever I will fall ill, whatever the cost that incurred, they will pay back. So this is the insurance. So the premium, the initial cost that I have pay on the regular basis, that is not affordable for the many of the senior citizen, and that need to be make affordable to make it more accessible as well. Okay. The other thing is that the claim is not generally given. There is lot of documentation process. Means they will ask this paper, that paper, previous medication, all the medication, and all your inspection, all your treatment history. They will ask different type of the test, bring this test. They will say that this level, this standard should be followed. Mainly, whenever the claim comes, whenever you go to ask my money, give me my money that you insured me, they ask lot of question and lot of paperwork. That is the other thing that we need to careful about. Here the premium, the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India doesn't have that much power to talk about the this premium money, but they can talk about the policy. So they have brought that once you go for the premium, once the company fix for the premium, this premium should not change. It doesn't mean that after 2 years you say that your premium from 200 has to be increased to the 600. Now, if the premium has been fixed at the 200, for the all the time you have to keep it the 200. Besides that, one thing that has been introduced, that after insurance, health insurance, if you have developed some other disease, that should be included in the same premium. And there should be the option for renewable. Means if you want to extend beyond that limit, you can extend on paying the same premium. These are the three things that is very important. And that will help in bringing that insurance for all by the 2047. This is very good, and this is very effective initiative. Besides that, you will see that here it is talking about the early entry, continued renewable, and the favorable claim experience. That is the effort that is being made. Early entry means as your age, if you will take this insurance at the early age, you are facing less disease, and your waiting period will be, it will end up very early, and that's why whenever you fall ill into the latter stage of your life, you can easily avail this scenario. One more thing is that it has given lot of flexibility to the insurance company so that they can make their policy as per the need, and so that the people can afford. For example, they can make that, yes, if only these diseases you want to cover, the payment will be that. So it will reduce. So more people can cover. Okay, more people can take the insurance. The other thing is that there is need for continuation, that already we have discussed. Okay. And yes, even if the element developed later, then it has been included in this. So this is all about, this is going to help the more insurance and more insurance coverage, and people will have the more accessibility. So all this thing, this policy is going to impact this health sector, overall health sector, in a positive manner. And yes, already you know that this all topic comes under the GS paper 2 health sector. Next important news that we are going to cover is the when is a candidate elected unopposed. When is a candidate elected unopposed? Why this is into the news? Because in the Surat, BJP candidate has declared as the winner without any contestant. Okay, so here he was winning the election without any unopposed. No opposition, he win the election unopposed. And it is declared on the 22nd of the April this month, April. Okay, so this why this is in the news. So you should know that what are the conditions, what are the rules that govern. So the condition main the contents the main event was like that. There was the candidate from the opposition, but the opposition candidate from the Congress that was declared as the invalid because his proposal, there is need for the signing of the proposal into the whenever the nomination is submitted, and the three of the proposal they claim that they have not signed, it was forged. Okay, so if there is the forging, so the returning officer can cancel the nomination. So this is the rule, and this power of returning officer to cancel the nomination comes from section 33 of the Representation of the People's Act 1951. So please remember this, Representation of the People Act 1951. Okay. Beside that, this section 53 clause 3 of this same act, Representation of People's Act, talk about the what will be the condition, how there will be the dealing when there is the uncontested election, when there is the no opposition. Here the opposition was there, but they declared as the invalid. And many of the independent candidates who already were into the contestation, they withdraw their nomination paper, and that's why the person from the BJP, the candidate from the BJP, the name of the person was the what is her name? Mukesh Dalal. He has been declared as the winner without any opposition. So please remember the Mukesh Dalal, it was into the Surat. Surat is the second largest city of the Gujarat. In the prelims they can ask, and it has been declared, he has been declared as the winner. It is the second largest city of the Gujarat. So please remember all this thing. Okay, the election was about to held into the 7th of the May. But as per the rule, section 53, when the nomination process completed and returning officers go through for the matching and verification, and it find that there is no other candidate than the number of the seat. For example, if there is a lesser number of the candidate than the number of the seat, all they are declared as the winner. This is general condition as per the section 53 of the Representation People Act. Representation of the People Act 1951. Please remember that. Okay, so here, if the nomination paper is completed after the verification, it is the returning officer that is the heading the constituency for the electoral process. So please remember all this thing, who head or at the what level. So we will make it read that how this process comes at the different level. So this is clear. I hope this is clear. What are the rule under that? The uncontested election is dealt. It is the 53 of the Representation of People Act, and section 33 of the act that deal with the who will verify the nomination. It is the returning officer. This RO means returning officer. Here it is given RO, returning officer. This is heading at the constituency level. So we will discuss that what is the returning officer, what is the district level officer, what is the presiding officer. Okay. Here you will see that, let's start with the what is total process, how the election is being superintended. So you will see that at the union level, at the national level, it is the Election Commission of India. It is headed by the Chief Election Commissioner plus two election commissioners. Two election commissioner. Okay. This is at the national level. At the state level, this appoint, the Election Commission of India appoint the Chief Electoral Officer. It is at the state level. After that, at the district level, we have the district electoral officer, district electoral officer. Generally people confuse here. Here it is the chief electoral officer, not the state election commission. Not the state election commission or the commissioner, because state election commission, this come under the local body, that is the panchayati raj and the municipal election, municipal bodies election. So please don't be confused. There is no state election commission at the when we are going for the Lok Sabha election and the state assembly election. So here it will be the chief electoral officer at the state level. So that's why I am making the star. Please be very careful. After district electoral officer, there will be the returning officer at the constituency level. Returning officer. So this is at the constituency level, this is at the district level, because in a district there could be the many constituency. For example, in the this state legislature assembly election, you will, if you will take the example of the Kushinagar. In the Kushinagar district there is the Khadda constituency for the state election assembly. Okay, so one MLA will be for the Khadda, one will be for the Tamkui Raj, one will be for the Padrona. These are the different constituency that comes. State constituency elects is assembly member. They are known as the MLA, member of legislative assembly, MLA. Okay, so you should remember. So there could be the many returning officers into the one district if it is the state legislative assembly election. Generally, for the Lok Sabha, it is not always that there will be the one district, one constituency. Even in the Lok Sabha, many of the districts have the more than one constituency. For example, in the Lucknow there is the two constituency. Okay, maybe there is also chances that in the there is the two district and one district. For example, the Kushinagar, some of the area of the Kushinagar will be part of the Devariya constituency. Those most part of the Devariya will be under the, for example, like let's see the, let me show you. This is the think that this is the constituency. Okay, this is one district, that is the Kushinagar, and this is Devariya. So if this Devariya has more population than the fixed number for a constituency, so maybe some part of this Devariya will be part of the Kushinagar constituency. So Kushinagar will have, this district of the Kushinagar will have the some part of the district of the Devariya. Maybe same vice versa is possible. Some part of the Kushinagar could be into the Devariya constituency. So this is the constituency label. Okay. So here the returning officer will be the main officer. After that, under returning officer, there will be the presiding officer as the polling booth. Presiding officers. Who appoints them? Till here. These both are appointed by the, till here. All these three are appointed by the Election Commission of India. This is the appointing body. And presiding officer is appointed by the district electoral officer, and after that you will have the polling officers. This polling officer and presiding officer, they are nominated by the district electoral officer. Please remember, this district electoral officer is generally a IAS officer at the district level. Maybe it could be the district magistrate. Generally it is the district magistrate. This is not fixed. Okay. Here one more body is there, that is the observer. Observers are appointed by the Election Commission of India. They supervise all these election process. They have lot of power. They can even, they have power to stop the counting process if they find that there has been the booth capturing or any such thing. So these are the election machinery that takes place from the Election Commission of India to the polling officer. Here there will be the presiding officer at the one polling station. He will be the head and it will be assisted by the polling officer. Okay, presiding officer and polling officer are appointed by the district electoral officer. Please remember, till returning officer, from the chief electoral officer, that is the state level, all they are appointed by the Election Commission of India and after the consultation with the state government. Okay, and this district electoral officer they appoint the presiding officer and the polling officer. So these are the electoral machinery you should know. Then you will see that the handbook of the returning officer issued by the Election Commission of India that mention the constituency with only one contestant candidate. That candidate should be declared elected immediately after the withdrawal of the deadline. Means if all the nomination process that ended, after that if there is the only one person for the one constituency, that is only one candidate, there is no need for the further election. But the thing is that now the contestation begin. The challenge faced here. Here you are talking about if there is the no contestation, there will be the declaration of the person, only one person as the winner. But what about the nota? So the nota means none of the above. It is a type of tools that gives the electorals, the people, that they can say that we are not satisfied by the any of the candidates. So nota will be there. So should we go for the election with one candidate and nota? Generally, as you know, the history of the nota, it was introduced from the 2013 and it was by the Supreme Court judgment under the People's Union for the Civil Liberty case. Okay, so People's Union for the Civil Liberty case, and it was in this Supreme Court declared that there should be the nota option so that the people have the more option to represent their will. That yes, they are not satisfied with the candidate and that's why they are going for the nota. Okay, so in that condition, there is one more thing beside the nota. Already we have the rule 49O of the conduct of the election rule. Under that, electorals, if decide not to vote, they can go and they can note down with the presiding officer that they are not satisfied with the any of the candidate and that's why they are not going to vote. Okay, so this decision recorded by the presiding officer, and there is a column of the register of the voter. So already have this presiding officer, this register, and here they note down. So the thing is that here the right to express the disapproval of the candidate that was introduced by the nota under the Supreme Court judgment. Please remember this and you can write this again. Okay. So you should have the clarity about the when the VVPAT introduced. It was the Subramaniam Swamy case of the 2013. So 2013 there was a lot of judgment that was revolutionized the electoral process. Okay. So here you will see that nota is not that much effective because nota is not considered as the option. Till now, the situation is that even the returning officer do not count the nota when it count the valid vote to decide whether we are going to return the security deposit. Security deposit, we must have heard that the जमानत जब्त हो गया. जमानत जब्त means whenever a candidate go for the contestation, go for the candidature, go for the nomination, the candidate has to pay some amount of the rupees. That if he is not able to get a particular percentage of the vote, his money will be not returned. This is to discourage the non-serious candidate. Maybe if these options are not there, everyone will go contest to show that yes, I have contested the election at the MLA level or the member of parliament level. Okay. So here the deposit, whenever we are going to count for this total valid vote for the return of the security deposit, we do not count the nota vote. This is also always criticized. So what is the valid vote? What is the vote percentage that is needed to get the deposit? It at least for this Lok Sabha election, it is 1/6 of the total valid vote. So nota is not counted. So this is the negative thing. Means nota should be counted as well. And if no, even those candidates who have got lesser than nota, they are declared as the winner. So under the recent plea into the Supreme Court, and it was by the author Shiv Khera, he asked the Supreme Court that please do the re-election. Ask the Election Commission of India, go for the re-election. Whenever there is the candidate who are the winning candidate getting lesser or than nota, there should be the re-election so that the people are not dissatisfied with the candidate. And beside that, one more challenge is there. It has asked the Supreme Court that please ban those candidates who are getting lesser than nota for the 5 years or the 7 years or the 2 years, whatever the feasibility is there. Okay, so at least the ban for the 5 years if they are getting the lesser vote than the notas. So this is the demand. You should know that in the last 5 years, the number of the nota that has been voted is more than 1.29 crore. So you can imagine the number of votes it shows. In the percentage it is less, but overall vote is 1.29 crore. The people, that number of the times people have shows that the no candidates are deserving. Okay. So this is all about from this news analysis that how the Supreme Court judgment and how the demand for all this thing is going to impact the electoral process. So we will try to practice one of the question for the mains. Describe the administrative machinery responsible for conducting election for the Indian Parliament and State Legislature Assembly. So simply this is very straightforward question. It is talking about the describe administrative machinery responsible for conducting election for the Indian Parliament, for the Lok Sabha and the State Legislative Assembly. Here it will be for the Lok Sabha and this is Vidhan Sabha. Okay. So here what you should start with the broader law such as the election the Representation of People Act 1951 that's talking about the different machinery, and also the constitutional provision under that we have provided the Election Commission of India for the administration and superintendence of the electoral process. So please bring all this thing. After that you will talk about the appointing authority and nominating authority for the different layer. You can talk about the chief electoral officer, then you can talk about the observers, district electoral officer, returning officer, presiding officer, and then the polling officer. Please talk all this thing, and in the last you can conclude that all they are very much instrumental into the conducting the fair and the free elections. And here you should talk about all they are deemed as the deputation to the Election Commission of India. Okay, so that the fair and the free election can be conducted. So please bring all these points under this. This will make your answer more effective. So this is all about from this news article. Next important news that we are going to take is again from the FAQs, frequently asked question. And this news is the how do extreme climate events impact Asia. So this is mainly talking about the climate events, and that has been presented into the report of World Meteorological Organization. So the report that is based on all the event, and World Meteorological Organization, the report of the state of climate in Asia. So state of climate in Asia, and declared by the World Meteorological Organization. It is a specialized body of the United Nations. So please remember that. Here it has projected the alarming gap between the need to cope up with the climate change and the capacity of the state into the Asia, South Asia. Okay. All the Asian countries. Here you should know that most of the South Asian countries that include holistic Asia, South Asia is the part. Most of these countries are the developing countries, and many of the even leave the only the South Asian countries, even the these East Asian countries. For example, if you will go into the Cambodia or the Vietnam, their condition is not that much good. That's why the capacity is lacking. And when the capacity is lacking, your preparedness is not good. So as per the report, our alarming system, early warning system is good, alarming system, okay, and forecasting is good, but the preparedness is not good. You will see into the points the index that has been given. For example, here you will see that the death toll, what toll did heat exact on the Asia. You will see that more than 2,000 people died due to the extreme climate events in the Asia directly, and mostly 80% of that is from the storm and the flood. You have seen that there was the last year there was cyclone Mocha, and it was one of the largest and one of the most grievous cyclone in the last decade. So you will see that, however, it was into the mainly Bay of Bengal and strike down the Bangladesh and Myanmar. Here you have seen that after this struck, there was the flood, landslide and lightning incident into the different Asian countries, South Asian countries, India, Pakistan and Nepal. And the death toll was 600. So this shows that the impact due to the lack of preparedness. You will also see that the flood and landslide into the Himachal Pradesh that caused the death of 25 people. The most vulnerable, the most striking thing is the lightning. The lightning strikes, that has been caused 1200 lives. Why? Because lightning, the prediction is not possible. The early warning is not possible. For example, some of the group, for example, the farmers who go walk into the field, they don't have the system for the early warning system. So this is the most vulnerable thing that is causing the death in Asia. Okay. Early warning system that include the monitoring. Monitoring means you observe the hazard. Means if there is the landslide condition in some of the mountainous area, you monitor that how the sliding, how the soil is changing, it's displacing from one place to other place. What is the condition, how it is going to fall down. For example, if there is the condition that is a formation of the cyclone is there into the ocean or the sea, so you start monitoring, you start observing, and you will, by that you can predict that when it will be developed at its extreme condition, what will be the path, where it will strike, how we need to prepare. Okay. So you can forecast that what will be the path, what is the people need to do. Forecasting is very important so that you can alarm the people, you can prepare the people to face this vulnerability. Okay. So here, this early warning system also need to risk assessment, communication and preparedness. You have to communicate and you have asked people to prepare, and yourself, the state need to prepare so that they can intervene and they can prevent the death and casualty, loss of properties and the loss of life. Preparedness is the one part of that. Okay. And we have seen that such preparedness has helped. For example, when the cyclone Mocha that struck down the Bangladesh, there was the good preparedness into the Cox's Bazar area, and due to that we saved the life in this area. Here it has given the what is the performance of Asia under the UN Office for the Disaster Risk Reduction, and a different area that has been given that into the early warning system, multi-hazard early warning system, we have received, Asia has received 0.46 out of 1. The average global, it is 0.35. So here we are performing well. Asian countries has performed well, because here overall this include the African and the South American countries. They are not that much technologically developed. Like in South Asia, India dominates and our satellite system is well developed, and that's why we are able to forecast, we are able to bring the early warning system. The thing is that where we are lacking the preparedness. In preparedness, we have received 0.58. This is less than global. The global average is 0.78. 0.20 point we are lesser than the global average. Even you will show that observation and forecasting, that is 0.50, that is much more than the average 0.33. So here the preparedness is not there. Why? It is due to the lack of resource and money so that we can provide the needed infrastructure, needed rehabilitation, settlement, all these things, and that's why we are not able to reach the global standard, the global average. We are lesser than the global average. You will see that less than half of the Asian countries have the necessary tool to mitigate the impact of the climate change. For example, we have seen that the heat wave is very high. There is the global sea rise, Maldives, Sri Lanka, they all will be impacted, Bangladesh. Okay, so here the preparedness, the resources that is needed is not as up to the that we need. Okay. Here in the case of the Mocha, what is the case of the India? In the case of the Mocha, cyclone Mocha, India provided an early warning system. I said that we have the lot of development and a lot of achievement into the early warning system. That's why we are able to provide the early warning system such as the forecasting and also the different type of the communication and monitoring observation of all these things. That's why here we were successful, but the preparedness is not that much. And in the case of the lightning strike, here we are lacking, we are facing a lot of challenge, and particularly with respect to the marginalized section of society such as the farmers and tribal. They are not able to cope up with this lightning strike because we do not have the system to provide them early warning system or the provide the needed information. So here we need to work. Besides that, in the future we will see that there will be the high number of the cases for the heat wave, glacier retreat that is increasing, and sea level rise that is continuously, that is going to pose challenge to these countries. And here we need urgent attention and the policy overhauling. We do not need the knee-jerk reaction. When the things come, we react. We need to prepare before the things come. We should prepare. And when we face the incident or the vulnerability, we can easily cope up with all these things. This is the demand here. Okay. Let's try to solve some of the question under our Furious 5 session. Under this session, we try to solve 5 questions, and those 5 questions that we have covered from the today's newspaper, and those questions are most probable question that UPSC can ask in its prelims or the state PCS. In the state PCS, they can ask this type of the question. So let's start with the first question. Which of the following phenomena provides the evidence of the Earth magnetic field? A. Migration of the birds and the sea turtles. B. Formation of the rainbows. C. Occurrence of volcanic eruption. D. Changing intensity of the solar radiation. So here we will see that the correct answer for this is the A. Migration of the bird and the sea turtle. We know that these Earth magnetic field that is helping these birds to follow their path and return back to their home. We see that so many of the birds, like the crane, all they comes from the Russian area and they reach India and they go back again. So here you will see that it is the Earth magnetic field that help them to notice and to follow the same path because it is constant for the long years. It takes thousands of years to change, and that's why these birds follow. They have the sense. They have the sense to percept, and they can feel this magnetic wave, and that's why they magnetic field they create their path. Formation of the rainbow. This is the phenomena that is due to the scattering of the light, or this had nothing to do with the Earth's magnetic field that much into the directly. Occurrence of volcano eruption. Okay, so here the Earth magnetic field, it could be possibly we can do, but this is not the permanent evidence for the Earth magnetic field. Changing intensity of the solar radiation, that has nothing to do with the Earth magnetic field. We know that this is due to the reaction that is going into the solar system, the sun, inside the sun. Into the sun's core there is the fusion reaction, and that's decide all this intensity of the solar radiation. So A will be the correct answer. Question number 2, birds flying in formation often adopt a V-shaped pattern to improve aerodynamic efficiency and reduce drag, enhance communication between members of the flock, deter predator by the appearing larger and more intimidating. D, maintain consistent spacing between individuals. So here you should know that it is the improve aerodynamics efficiency and reduce the drags, because they generally go into the V shape, and by that these front boards, they provide the upwash for the other boards into the this V shape structure, and that's why it's reduced the energy that they needed, and it optimized their effort, and it's also reduced the drag. So this will be the correct answer. Question number 3. Consider following context: growing strategic ties with China, maritime security concern in Indian Ocean region. Third, effort to counterbalance India's naval power. The development and acquisition of hangar class submarine by the Pakistan can link to how many of the above context. So here you will see that yes, it is due to the growing strategic ties with the China, and China helped to acquire this hangar class submarine. So one is correct. Maritime security concern with the Indian Ocean region. Here we will see that India and US and other such countries such as Japan, Australia, their presence is increasing, and they are working under the Quad, and that's why the China and the Pakistan, they are also want to counterbalance the India's naval power, and that's why this initiative has been started. So B is also correct. Effort to counterbalance the India's naval power. So this is clearly correct. So C will be the correct answer. Question number 4. Under section 53 of the Representation of People's Act 1951, if there is the only one candidate nominated for a seat, then the returning officer must still conduct a formal election process. B, the candidate can be declared elected without conducting a poll. C, the election commission can appoint another candidate. D, the seat remains vacant until a by-election is held. So here you will see that already we have seen that in the case of the Surat, there was the no opposition of the BJP candidate, and that's why the candidate was declared as the winner. So here the candidate can be declared elected without the conducting the poll. Poll was about to be held on the 6th of May, and now on the 22nd of the May, when the returning officer found that there is no other contestant, only one candidate is there, so he was declared as the winner. So as per this is under the section 53 of the Representation of People Act 1951. Next question. Who generally assumed the role of district electoral officer during the election? District magistrate, chief secretary of the state, a retired high court judge, a senior diplomat appointed by the home ministry. So here you will see that the district electoral officer that is nominated and appointed by the Election Commission of India, and after that generally these officers are the district magistrate, because the district magistrate work at the district level, that is the head of the district, and that's why it is the district magistrate that they are the generally declared and appointed as the district electoral officer. So you will see that at the top level it is the Election Commission of India, at the state level it is the chief electoral officer, and after that it is the district election officer. So this is all about from this question. So here we have covered most of the relevant news from the today's newspaper. Here we will conclude our session. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.